Hey guys, it's Chloe. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be talking you through how I'm studying for intermediate level Japanese. If you've been following me for a while, you might know that I did actually pass the JLPT N4 exam in December 2018, but then I had a very long break of not studying. I kind of hit a really big slump. I didn't study for like 4 or 5 months, and I pretty much had to start again from zero. So I've been spending a long time kind of reviewing and trying to get myself back to a place where I felt confident enough and comfortable enough in my Japanese to move on to more kind of intermediate N3 study. And I've finally done that! So I have this week been doing more intensive Japanese study, specifically focusing on Japanese. So I've been making myself kind of a little study plan for intermediate level study. So I'm going to share with you what exactly that entails, as well as all the resources I'm using, because I know everyone loves resource videos, I know I do. So the main resource I'm going to be focusing on for my intermediate studies is Integrated Approach to Intermediate Japanese. So I am kind of taking a break from JLPT specific resources for the time being. I did start on this book a little while ago when I first tried to kind of pick up where I'd left off, but obviously I was really struggling, so I had to go back and review everything. I haven't finished the first chapter yet, but I do like this book. It gives you a lot of input. There's a lot of dialogues and longer reading passages at the start of each chapter, which I really like. So in those passages it introduces the new vocabulary and the new grammar that it's going to cover in the lesson. It does also give you kanji lists for kanji you should know, and in the back there is an index for the kanji vocabulary and grammar. The format of the book, it is a little bit boring. It's all in like black and white, which I don't really engage with, but I've gone through with coloured pens and I plan to just like highlight the crap out of it. It also does include some culture notes, which I think is nice. I love it when language textbooks include culture sections. So yeah, I'm really excited to kind of continue with this one, and yeah, I'll probably do a review of it at some point once I've worked a little bit through it. Oh, also there are questions in here. But I don't think there's answers. I was flicking through the back. I don't think it gives you the answers, so I'm not sure if there's some online. It does say there's teacher resources and things on the website, so I'm not sure if the answers will be there, but yeah, that's just something to be aware of. There is a workbook as well. I don't have the workbook, but for more practice questions and things there is a workbook available. And then I have Quartet, which is intermediate Japanese across the 4 language skills. So this focuses a lot on reading, writing, speaking and listening. I'm probably going to go through this after I've finished with integrated Japanese and kind of use this more as a workbook. So it does teach you grammar, and in the back there is the little pull-out vocabulary list, so it gives you the vocabulary for each chapter and the kanji that you should know that is included in the textbook. But generally I'm planning to use this more as a workbook, since it does focus so much on like output with like the speaking and the writing exercises. So it's not just like giving you the information, you're kind of having to use the information. So yeah, I'm planning on using Quartet after I've finished Integrated Approach, kind of to consolidate my learning, I guess. There is meant to be a second textbook coming out. This is the first one. The second one is meant to be released in September, I think. Supposedly the first textbook covers N3 and the second textbook covers N2, but I'm not sure how accurate that is. So I will probably get the second one as well and just, you know, work my way through that once I'm done with the first one. So although I said that I'm not focusing on JLPT specific materials, I kind of am, because I'm going to be focusing on these vocabulary books. So I'm sure you've seen these ones before. I think I've spoken about this one. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this one on YouTube, but I have, pretty sure I've posted about it on Instagram. So they're just kind of standard vocab books I will go through and try and learn as much vocab as I can. So they're the classic, you know, red pages with the little film, so you can test yourself. They're both like that. Yeah, I'll just work through those to make sure my vocabulary is up to scratch, and then obviously learning the vocabulary in the other textbooks as well as the grammar before then kind of prepping for the actual exam. Also, since I'm kind of moving into more intermediate level study, I'm going to be focusing a lot more on reading and listening as well. I've been watching Terrace House with like Japanese subtitles and stuff to try and just immerse myself as much as possible, and I'm also going to be focusing a lot more on reading. So the main book I'm working through at the moment is Reading Road. I'd never heard of this book before, but I saw it on JP Books. I'll link to everything down below, by the way. But yeah, I saw this on JP Books and I was kind of like, ooh, interesting. And I'm actually really enjoying it. At first I was kind of like, wasn't sure about some of the topics, but at the time of filming I've only gone through like 2 of the reading passages. But they've actually been really like engaging. So I'll just show you this one. This one was all about recycling. So I've just gone through, gives you the words at the bottom, so you can like tick off the words you know as you're learning them. And I've just like highlighted the words I didn't know. But yeah, the way it's kind of structured, it has, wait, how many topics? So it has 5 chapters, and then each chapter has 3 lessons, and each lesson is like, it works up in difficulty. So lesson 1 is the easiest, lesson 2 is kind of middle ground, and level 3 is the hardest. So I'm just going through at the moment, I'm going through each chapter and doing the first lesson because that's the easiest one. So you can kind of build up your knowledge. It does also include grammar notes. I'm not really bothered about the grammar notes. So far it's not been any new grammar. It's all been things I already know. It does say it's N4 to N3 level, pre-intermediate, so that's kind of my level, I guess. Level 1 is kind of N4, and then level 2 and level 3 is more like N3 level content, I'm assuming. I don't know, I haven't worked that far yet. But yeah, I haven't seen anything about this book like anywhere, but I'm really enjoying it, and yeah, I think it's definitely useful for kind of like high beginners, low intermediate. So yeah, I definitely recommend this one. I will do a review of it. And then I've also pulled this one out the cupboard. I'm probably not going to bother doing all the stuff in the front with like the advertisements and the signs and the text messages and things, but in the back there are like longer stories and things, so I will focus more on those. There is also in the back like a vocab supplement, which I will probably just work through and pick out any words I don't know, stick them in like a Quizlet set or something and just drill those. I'm mainly focusing on just trying to learn as much vocabulary as possible, because vocabulary is definitely a weak point. As I always say, I suck at vocabulary. So yeah, definitely going to be using this one to try and learn as much vocabulary as possible. And then I can't talk about reading without mentioning Japanese stories for language learners. I love this series of books. I'm patiently waiting for them to release a Chinese one. So yeah, I'll just be going through and learning as much vocab as I possibly can. The stories in this one, it's not like the Korean one. The Korean one has shorter stories, and they do get longer towards the end, but this one there's only like 5 stories I think, and they are much longer. Yeah, there's 5 stories and they're much longer, so it'll take me a little while longer to work through each one, which I'm not like mad about it, but yeah, the 2, well, I've kind of fully gone through one and then I started another one, and they're both, you know, they were both enjoyable to read. I think, have I done a review of this one yet? I can't remember. If not, I will do. I think I've definitely mentioned it in other videos and things, but yeah. And then this is a new one I'm excited about. Read Real Japanese. This is the fiction one. They also have an essay one, which I would like to get, but I'll probably try and work through these ones first. So it's just kind of this, what do you call it? When it's parallel text, that's it. So there's Japanese on one side and then like English on the other side. So there's different short stories, and it goes through, wait, does it have like vocabulary and things in the back? Yeah, it's got like a kind of dictionary in the back, so you can look up the words. So yeah, I'm excited to work through this one, and I'm also really curious to get the essay one as well, because Natalia has that essay book in Korean, and I've kind of been like itching to read more like non-fiction in Japanese and Korean, so I'm really excited to get the essay one as well. But like I said, I'll work through these ones first and then get that one later. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Definitely focusing more on vocabulary and reading, listening input. I'll be posting updates all the time on Instagram, kind of like what I'm studying. If you want more on like how I make notes and things with these resources, like let me know, and I'll do a video for that as well. I'll be doing updated videos kind of along the way and for all the other languages I'm studying, so make sure you subscribe and turn on the bell so you get notifications when I eventually upload. Yeah, I hope this video was helpful. If you're looking for any Japanese intermediate resources, I hope you could find something here that you'd like to try out, and I'll see you in the next video.